Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. So this week I've got a more recent case to discuss. I thought about this one in particular because the perpetrator was actually just executed a little over a month ago. We're discussing the murder of Bobbie Jo Stinnett and the woman who took her life, Lisa Montgomery. So sit back, relax, and let's dive in. Bobbie Jo Stinnett was a 23-year-old woman from Skidmore, Missouri. Bobbie was an honors graduate who spent her time in high school as a cheerleader who was in the process of building her life with her childhood sweetheart, Zeb. The pair were expecting a baby girl together. She had a pretty successful dog breeding business which she ran out of her home. In 2004, Stinnett was at a dog show when she met a woman named Darlene Fisher. Darlene showed interest in purchasing one of Stinnett's rat terriers, so she received her website information to contact her at a later date. The site called Ratter Chatter contained a message board so similar enthusiasts could connect with Bobbie about her dogs. Darlene Fisher contacted Bobbie months later, still interested in purchasing one of the dogs. The pair enjoyed talking with each other. Darlene noticed a photo on the website which showed Bobbie was pregnant. Darlene disclosed she too was expecting, and Bobbie was looking forward to meeting Darlene. The women swapped information and planned to meet up the next day on December 16, 2004. Bobbie opened her home to Darlene, not knowing her sinister motives. Darlene was not who she claimed to be. Once inside Bobbie's home, Darlene turned on her. She strangled Bobbie to death, then proceeded to remove the unborn child from Bobbie's womb. Taking the baby, Darlene left without a trace. Around 3 p.m. the same day, Becky Harper, who was Bobbie's mother, came by for a visit and discovered the horrific scene. Bobbie was laying on the floor with what she described as it looking like her stomach had exploded. Distraught and worried, Harper called police. The paramedics attempted to revive Bobbie on the scene but were unsuccessful, and she was pronounced dead on arrival at St. Francis Hospital. Investigators began searching for any leads. Neighbors recalled seeing a vehicle outside of the home, which was a start. The smoking gun, however, came from Bobbie's computer. Police found the correspondence between Darlene and Bobbie. Believing Darlene could be a witness, they traced her IP address to a farmhouse in Melbourne, Kansas. Upon arrival, they discovered the car which matched the neighbors' descriptions. Police knocked on the door wishing to speak to Darlene Fisher, but to their surprise, Darlene Fisher didn't live there and no one knew who this woman was. Police asked to come inside, and there sitting on the couch was a woman holding a newborn baby. This piqued their interest. They learned the woman's name was Lisa Montgomery, and she claimed she had just had the child a few days ago. But let's step back and discuss some of Lisa's background. Lisa Montgomery was a 36-year-old woman from Melbourne, Kansas. She was raised in an abusive home where her stepfather sexually assaulted her. She claimed she was passed off to friends and sold to groups of men by her mother. Her mother also caused brain damage due to her consistent beatings. Lisa was married by 18, which did not last, and she quickly remarried again, with both relationships resulting in abuse. She did get married a third time to a man named Kevin, who stayed by her side through everything. She had 4 children between the marriages, and eventually underwent a tubal litigation to prevent any more pregnancies. Despite her tubal litigation, she often lied to family, friends, and her husband that she was pregnant on multiple occasions. In 2004, she convinced family and her husband Kevin she was expecting a baby. She also boasted to her ex-husband about her future bundle of joy. However, he knew better than to believe anything Lisa had to say. Due to her repeated lies and deceptions, her ex threatened to expose her and take away their 2 children. This was also the time she would meet Bobbie Stinnett, ruining her and her family's life forever. On December 17th, after an hour of questioning, Lisa finally confessed to her crimes. She had murdered Bobbie and kidnapped the newborn baby to pass off as her own child. She presented the baby to her husband, claiming she had gone into premature labor at work. Lisa was arrested and charged with kidnapping resulting in death. Through DNA testing, the identity of the baby was confirmed and she was returned back to her father, Zeb. Although the baby was a month premature, she was healthy and the miracle that emerged from what could only be described as a nightmare. During the trial, the defense attempted to argue Lisa was not guilty by reason of insanity. They stated she had a mental disorder which left her incapable of understanding what she did was wrong, believing it stemmed from a brain injury brought on by constant abuse during her childhood. They painted a portrait of a woman scarred from the abuses inflicted by her mother and stepfather, citing she suffered from pseudopsoriasis, a delusional belief of pregnancy despite the fact she couldn't have children. Prosecution argued Lisa knew exactly what she was doing. She planned to steal an unborn child and raise it as her own, specifically pointing out that she had done research into home births and cesarean sections online prior to the attack. They described Lisa as scheming, dishonest, and manipulative, who often used pregnancy to gain preferential treatment. Prosecution put forth the theory that Lisa murdered Bobbie in an act of desperation spurred by threats and exposure. The jury deliberated and found Lisa Montgomery guilty of kidnapping resulting in death. During the sentencing, Lisa's attorneys and supporters used her traumatic past as a reason to spare her life, even bringing her sister on the stand to corroborate her stories regarding their mother. They also reiterated that due to her rough beginnings, she was mentally ill and didn't understand what she had done. Prosecution focused on the impact of the crime on Bobbie's family and also cited aggravating factors which made Lisa eligible for the death penalty, which included the brutal nature of the crime. On October 22, 2007, after more than 5 hours of deliberation, Lisa received the death penalty for the murder of Bobbie Jo Stinnett. Her team of attorneys tried to overturn the sentence through appeals, but they were rejected. They also attempted to postpone her execution date until after the new president was sworn in, as he opposes capital punishment, but this too didn't happen. She remained incarcerated at the Federal Medical Center Carswell in Fort Worth, Texas, until she was transferred to the site of execution. After conviction, an examination showed Lisa had been living with psychosis, bipolar disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder, and was often described as dissociated with reality. Her execution date was scheduled on December 8, 2020 at the U.S. Penitentiary in Indiana. This date was delayed due to her attorney becoming ill. She was then rescheduled for January 12th of 2021. But hours before execution, the judge blocked it on the grounds of mental competency. Montgomery was found mentally sound, and the Supreme Court overturned the stay of execution and upheld her original sentence. On January 13, 2021, Lisa Montgomery was executed by lethal injection and was pronounced dead at 1:31 a.m. She gave no last words. Montgomery became the first female federal prisoner executed in 67 years. Despite rumors, Lisa's husband Kevin had no involvement in the crime and actually believed his wife had given birth and was very proud of the child. Kevin remained married to Lisa until her execution. The daughter of Bobbie is now 16 years old, and her family does their best to keep her life private from the public eye. Lisa's defense felt it was hard to grasp the horrors she suffered in early childhood. No one intervened to help her, even though many knew what was happening. Sandra Babcock, a clinical professor of law and faculty director of the Cornell Center on the Death Penalty Worldwide, was a major advocate in the sparing of Lisa's life. She was quoted stating, Quote, "No other woman has been executed for a similar crime because most prosecutors recognized that it is inevitably the product of trauma and mental illness." End quote. Babcock felt the execution of Lisa was yet another injustice inflicted on a woman who had known a lifetime of mistreatment. I found this story to be really sad, and I remember hearing about it, and I think I just kind of forgot about it until Lisa's execution date came up, and I felt it was an appropriate time to share it with other people if you hadn't heard about it. But what did you guys think about this one? Do you agree with her attorney that, Lisa was a victim in all of this as well? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you feel so inclined, please give the video a thumbs up to let YouTube know the content is interesting. Please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. This will keep you up to date with the channel information as well as uploads if you're interested in that. A big shout out to all of you guys for being awesome and supporting me continuously. I don't know how I got this far, but I hope to continue going further. You're all the best, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.